Welcome to Two Tunes Podcast. This is the Two Tunes Podcast.
We should really have
In
it.
case you thought it was a different podcast. This is the Two Tunes Podcast.
I love that you changed it up on the third time. I was listening to a podcast today or yesterday.
Not the Two Tunes Podcast, though, because you know which one that is because of the theme song that tells you.
That we don't have, but if you want to, we could.
Nah.
But they were talking about like music in films. It was like Ghost Notes.
Okay.
From June, because I'm that far behind.
Okay.
On all podcasts. And they were saying how there was like this song that doesn't make sense in a I don't know if it was a musical or whatever, but it was talking about like blues, and it's like in the first line you say whatever, and then or like in the first line you repeat it, and then it's like in the second line you repeat it, and in the third line you have enough time to figure out how to rhyme, and then I don't really know what it was.
When I teach the blues either to like high school kids or when I taught elementary school kids, we would do, I would say like say a thing, say that thing again, and then say something different. That's how I, if you're talking in AAB blues, that's how I describe it. But it fits. And you can make it rhyme or not. Cool.
Or not.
Or not. If
It fits.
yeah. Anyway,
If
what you got?
If
Oh, it was
I got
looping me.
I got a song. So this is episode 33. Is
Whoa.
that the Jesus episode? Dude, we're almost doing this for a year.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do anything special?
I don't know. I mean, when we hit like a milestone number, maybe.
Maybe we'll advertise and get more listeners. Anyways, so my song is by a band called Bayside.
Never got into them. Me personally.
Oh, are you being serious?
Yeah, I just never.
I've not gotten into them, but like every time I listen, I'm like, this is a really good band. Like I should really.
I don't honestly know how much I've listened to them.
I think that I thought they were one thing, and then like they are not that thing. Like I'm like, oh, they're a pop punk band, and it's like, no, they're not. They're like way better than that. Like maybe they started out like that,
I would
and then evolved.
I would put them like if you had asked me like a week ago, what do you think the band Bayside is? And I'd be like, oh, contemporaries of Taking Back Sunday, Thursday, like in that's how I would have thought of them, like in that time period.
Time period,
scene.
yes. But that's
and I know
not,
that scene's broad. Like I don't mean that they sound like those two bands, but I
Okay.
just like I'm picturing a compilation I picked up at Warped Tour that had
100%.
the three of them and probably Yellow Card,
Yeah.
and
But
early MCR. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
scene of things. Like
totally.
yeah.
Totally. But what band do you think that they sound like? Without,
Well, I don't. That's the thing. Like again, had you asked me a week ago before I listened to this song, I'd be like, I don't know any Bayside songs.
Okay.
Probably.
I couldn't. I mean, besides this record, I couldn't really name you any.
Is this the new record?
This
Or
is
newish
this is
record?
the newish record.
Okay.
The album is called Interrobang.
My favorite form of punctuation, by the way.
How do you get that on the computer?
You type a question mark and then you type an exclamation point.
No, there's probably a way. It's like
So did
it's
you
like
know that
shift.
there used to be a key for it?
For
Like
it.
on old typewriters?
All right.
there
By
used
the
to
way,
be
we
an
should explain what an
interrobang
interrobang is.
It's a question mark and
An exclamation point together over top of each other.
Yeah, but they don't have to be because that's not.
But it's this thing. It's like the AE. Like that is a letter.
It's an elision sort of thing.
And the Y, that like when people say ye old, that Y is not that letter. It's pronounced. It's like the TH that they've like. It's how it changed. Like the English language had
Well, sure.
more letters, and then they were
But
taken
an
away.
interrobang, I think, is like a relatively recent.
But it's a question mark and an apostrophe, an exclamation point. I can't think. In one,
Right.
Because it's like an
Exclamatory thing.
question. Like what?
Control Shift slash
Control Shift
or
Hold on.
Command
Control
slash
Shift.
slash, but
Slash.
probably Command because it's.
Yeah.
Are you typing into like Google Docs or something?
I'm trying to just like into search engines.
I don't know.
I'm just getting like boop, bang. It's not working. Anyways, an Interrobang, it's that. So that's like their first track off that is called Interrobang, and it's awesome too. I got this one because it has like more of a, like I know what the meaning of it is. So the meaning of this song is kind of like toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Where it's just like...
It's from 1962, by the way.
This album?
No. When
Interrobang.
Martin K. Spector conceptualized the Interrobang.
Yeah.
And like made it into, again, like a elided thing.
One thing.
As opposed to just the question mark, exclamation point.
Yeah. That's how I write it into thing. But Interrobang is like... The name is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Interrobang.
Yeah. Because you're interrogating, you're asking a question, then bang!
Yeah, so here's the song.
I spent my younger years in shame.
His voice reminds me a bit of Ben Gibbard.
Okay.
Hey kid, you'll see. Fight hard and stay the course.
And then now it doesn't. When he goes up higher, it doesn't.
I guess they made a man.
I'm gonna pause it after this phrase because it's right here. So I guess they made a man of me. It's like all about like when I was little, people were like, be a man.
Yeah.
And I'm basically gonna shout out.
What's the song called? Walk It Off?
It's called Walk It Off.
Yeah.
Which in the context of it, it's just like, oh, it totally makes sense. Like all of those things are things that like dads will say to little kids to be like, and I don't want to say those lyrics because I don't want to give it away. But if you're like suck it up, okay, brush it off,
yeah,
walk it off.
Yeah.
Another one would be like quit being a pussy.
Right, yeah.
Right, where it's just like
those are not far
dads that you would
other.
say to sports. In like those sports dads who are just like instead of just being like, "Oh, you're hurt." Okay.
Yeah.
Like really hurt instead of just like get over it.
Yeah. Walk it off. You're limping, walk it off.
Yeah. So then his voice doesn't remind me of this music because it feels like a Yellow Card. It feels like Simple Plan. Like I'm not saying that this, but like high tenors.
Yeah.
As far as
that's why
vocalists.
I think that's why like Ben Gibbard was the first one that came to mind from Death Cab for Cutie / the Postal Service / other things, but
slash himself.
Yeah.
No, he was not him.
As I listen to this song, I like the song, but I don't know that the voice fits the music for me.
Okay, I mean that's him. That's Bayside.
I'm aware, but
and he writes these songs. He plays the guitar. Yeah. It's not just like
it's just
kind of
my
my
feeling.
Suck it up.
Like I like his voice. I just don't know if I like it with this.
The drums, which they're complicated. It's like it's Tom stuff, right? It's very compressed. I'm looking at it's
yeah.
Shut it off and shut your mouth. And that little line there, that little like guitar line, which is like just imitating what the vocals were, kind of.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but I think. And then it's just, I love this song. This is a good song.
Walk it up, make father proud. Go walk it up, go walk it up. You're not a man, go walk it up. Walk it up. We are as we are taught.
Which
we are as we are taught. That's a good.
It's a good line. It's a great line because like it is. It's like it also. There's a song by the Deer Hunter. I forget what the lyrics are exactly, but it's kind of that idea of like everything that I know, I learned from being told, and then I told everything that I know, and it's just like this cyclical thing of just like, well, all I know is what I've been told, and all I told was what I know, and it's just like back and forth of just like the similar things. Is like I'm unhappy because I've eat. And I eat because I'm unhappy.
Sure.
From Fat Bastard.
Well, and this one also is like generational trauma.
Yep.
As well, like tying that in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just.
Is this fitting you right now?
No. It just like made me think of that. So.
And I like the that. But even like the second verse, like it's a different guitar part.
Yeah.
It's more like palm muted. And then there's that thing.
I think the more I listen to this song, but I think if I listen to more of them, I think the voice
would
wouldn't
fit more.
Yeah. Again, this is like I don't think I've ever really listened to a Bayside song before this.
Yeah. So that I would say that was a pre-chorus, and that pre-chorus is not the exact same as the first pre-chorus. I think it might be in a different key. I'm like recognizing these things. I didn't do a lot of research this week.
Fair enough.
So, or last week, or ever anymore. Screw this podcast.
Cool.
But yeah.
We are as we are taught. Shake it off and shut your mouth.
And there's not so much of a pullback when he says it.
Yeah.
It's more like we're just in here now.
Yeah.
Walk it off, go walk
And more of the woes.
Yeah.
and go walk it off. Walk it off. We are as we are taught.
Breakdown.
Bring it. I wouldn't call it a break. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Nah, yeah. Because breakdown has a
Yeah.
Now I know it
But bring it all the way down so
Yeah.
that they can start bringing it back up.
Yeah.
And then that guitar part, it's probably super easy. I should probably figure it out.
And I think I'm finally good enough for any normal purposes. Is that
So lyrically, maybe accepting it.
yeah.
it wasn't me?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's your fault I'm an asshole, not me.
Wasn't me? And I think I'm finally good enough.
Well, that's when I brought up the generational trauma thing. Been seeing a lot more about that recently and stuff, and like it sounds harsh, and obviously it can be, but there's like different ways that generational things affect you, whether
Yeah.
it's from like lack of knowledge of stuff or being belittled and put down or whatever, you know.
Yes.
I do appreciate the rawness in the chorus of his voice.
Yeah, like
Almost
he's,
then,
he's,
like-
he's yelling.
Yeah.
And his voice is very clean. He doesn't.
Yes.
We are taught.
He's good at singing. It's not. It doesn't take him. He's not struggling to sing.
Right. That's
And
the
when he-
thing. It's not. This isn't the right way to say it, but like it's almost like my first impression is that his voice is like too pretty for the music. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
when you're using the word clean, I think it's a similar idea. But yeah, he feels like to me like if I, not saying that I have a pretty voice or whatever, but like feels like to me like when I go to sing certain types of music, my voice doesn't quite fit that. Like I can sing some different things, but if I go to sing like harder stuff, it just doesn't fit in. But anyway.
I get it. I think that's a great album. And then the previous one was called Vacancy, because he wrote it in a hotel room because he had just gone through a divorce and living in a hotel
Yeah.
or a motel. And it's just like,
Hotel, motel, holiday inn. It would have been funnier if I didn't screw up the thing. If I could speak
Yeah.
like a human being.
speak like a human being. He's all right. So that's my song.
Cool.
I think everyone should listen to Bayside. I think Bayside is an amazing band. That's like actually kind of like a not as complicated song of theirs.
Okay.
Like Interrobang is like also kind of like all over the place, but like it all meshes together and it fits.
Okay.
They're that band that will throw in weird parts, and you're just like, how does that fit?
Sure.
Like it's not like so the Descendants will throw in weird things and it sticks out and it's like what why did that there? Where this is like that's weird, but like oh my god, it fits.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
pause for
Send me some things.
send you some things.
Yeah, like a couple
Just
Bayside tracks.
listen
You
to
should
this
listen to, like,
album.
this Bayside thing.
You should listen to this album, Interrobang. The whole thing's awesome. And then Vacancy is really good as too.
Okay.
Really good as well. Really good as too. What am I saying? I can't. Words is hard.
Yeah.
WURDIZHURD. Words is hard.
Words is heard.
Heard. Words is heard.
Cool. We'll take a break now.
Bye. Not really, but see you in like 2 seconds.
All right.
So we started to have a conversation.
Yeah, which
I'm
was
like,
dumb. We should have just done it on the
we should have
recording.
but like it was so we had a conversation. It was like 5 seconds. Like, we got to press record. This is gold.
So what
this
I was
is
saying,
golden content.
What I was saying to Bo is I wish that like people could hear this song that I'm about to play without knowing anything. Just like, here, put on the headphones or just listen to this for a second. Because as soon as you see the band name, which they're going to see on
as soon as you see the band name, as soon as you see the artwork, you
soon as
know
you
what's
see
going on.
the title of the song,
you
all
right
of it.
now
Yeah.
already know what this is. So
Right.
the song title is...
The song title is Lord Farquaad.
And right there, I'm like, Shrek? Actually, I didn't even think that. I didn't even look at the name. I looked at the artwork, which
Which is like a heart that has Shrek ears.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, well, it's green.
Yeah.
And obviously, okay, it's a Shrek song.
And the band is called Shrek is Love.
And how many albums do they have?
Well, they have 2, I guess technically EPs.
And each
They're both
EP has 3 songs. So they have 6 songs.
Yep. And
which is still an EP.
And to me, they're all great. I think they were recorded like a year or 2 apart.
Can you name all the songs that they have?
Without looking?
Nah, sure. I'm looking
so
it
Lord
up.
Farquaad. This is
opening track.
This Is My Swamp. Is that the second track?
I don't know. I'm looking at.
Well, there's only 6. So there's Lord Farquaad.
Yep.
This Is My Swamp.
Yes.
Fiona.
Yes.
That's this EP,
Which
right?
is called...
I think Shrek is Love Volume 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, but like This Is My Swamp is like
but
the title.
is the actual title. I don't know the name of the second one other than Shrek is Love Volume 2.
It's called Steps to the Castle.
Steps to the Castle, which is also a song. That's the last track.
Giant Steps to the Castle.
Oh, Giant Steps to the Castle.
Is it related to Giant Steps? Like, does it change keys?
Oh man, I don't remember now.
We gotta. Okay, but anyways,
We'll have to listen to it. It wouldn't surprise me because those dudes are all like jazz dudes.
You have to.
And then there's also An Ass for a Friend.
I wish you would have said that last.
I don't remember the other one.
It's Promise.
Oh, that's right.
'Cause it's
oh man, Promise is it's like a gorgeous
Promise,
love song.
An Ass for a Friend.
And then Giant Steps to the Castle.
Yeah, which is all of this just like that's they're are they going to put out more?
I hope so. They haven't in a few years. So
it's 2017 and then 2018.
So I found out about them. A podcast I've mentioned before is The Third Story.
I thought you were going to talk about Weekly Planet.
With Leo Sidran. No, not this time. But The Third Story it's an interview podcast, and he interviews mostly people in the music world. And Michael Mayo, who's the singer on this, was recently interviewed, maybe a month or 2 ago. And he was talking about his own album, which just came out, which is great. But then within the interview, it came up they kept saying this Shrek band or whatever. And I was like, wait, you have a band just about Shrek? And so I looked it up and I dug these 6 tunes as well. So yeah, the band is called Shrek is Love, and it's 6 tunes total on these 2 EPs, and they're all about Shrek. So Lord Farquaad is from the perspective of Lord Farquaad, and him trying to talk to Fiona, and him trying to get the Shrek and the donkey to go after her, and also about just himself. The song "This Is My Swamp" is basically Shrek's perspective, saying "This is my swamp, get out." And then the song Fiona is more about Fiona and getting to Fiona, from Shrek's perspective, more than from her perspective. And then on the second EP, An Ass for a Friend is just about the donkey.
The donkey. His name is Donkey.
And then Promise is just a love song, and again, if you think about it from Shrek to Fiona, especially after her transformation, spoiler alert. And then I forget the whole story from Giant Steps to the Castle. I can't remember why. I can't think of that one right now. I do remember that there's rapping in it, which is cool.
Okay.
But the production's really good. If I can just list the performers, at least on this first one.
John Bob.
Michael Mayo does the vocals, Jacob Mann on keys, Nick Campbell on bass, Christian Euman, E-U-M-A-N, on drums, and then Raquel Rodriguez sings background vocals on only the last chord of track 3, which is the Fiona song.
Who wrote this?
I think just they did.
Okay, so they're like, hey, you want to get do you know
I think they're just all buds and stuff. I don't know. I'm sure
Shrek
just
songs?
knowing the names, Jacob Mann, Nick Campbell, Christian Euman, I don't know them off the top of my head, but I bet I would know things that they are involved in, if that makes sense.
It doesn't give us lyrics, so it doesn't say songwriting credits.
But I think it's just they all kind of just did it together. But anyway, we should listen to it. It's kind of a banger. Quartal harmony, all in fourths and stuff.
Also, kind of chip-tuned.
Yeah.
Chiptune is where you play on a Game Boy, 1980s.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't think it's
that's
that,
how
but it has that
that's how it
effect.
used to be.
Yeah.
Like you would hack a Game Boy and you would program it.
Yeah.
It used to be hard. Now it's easy.
Yeah. The drummer is cool. He'll like throw in just like a random like little switch up beat. Like it'll just like change the feel for just like a beat or two.
Like that.
It's a little bit. There's a moment like in the verse when he throws in like almost like a triplet feel out of nowhere.
But what I lack in high eye makeup for enforcing my day end.
I feel bad talking over it because like you have to hear the lyrics because again it's coming from Farquaad's perspective.
Is it the same singer?
Yeah, Michael Mayo, who again just released a new album like not that long ago, which is great. Also, he's a really good singer.
Princess, so yes, see her locked up.
So
In that
I only listened to this once.
Okay.
So this is my second time listening.
to save her. They
I love that in headphones.
Little
Like, it's
keyboard like back and forth.
Totally like just
Majesty,
stereo tremolo.
Lord Farquaad, reign supreme, Fiona.
Who knew you could write bangers about Shrek?
Everybody.
Reign supreme
Technically, you could write bangers about anything.
Well, sure, but like,
in my dream.
and because they're all such good musicians, like it's so high quality.
None of
It just happens to be about Shrek, or at least in this case from Lord Farquaad's perspective.
They can't
So there's like three parts to this song.
kill this ogre.
They have that chordal part and then these stab parts.
Just ask him and Donkey if they can save my wife. Hey Shrek, if you
Some different stuff here. Those
Yeah,
keyboards are
it's
pretty-
definitely like what we're gonna
Yeah.
add to it. Pop sensibility.
but jazz, man. It's like totally
Oh yeah,
jazz keys solo over the top.
and the stereo is nice of that as
Yeah.
well.
They call my rule a travesty.
This feels like they added like snaps or something
Yeah.
now that wasn't there before.
And also the playing on the keys is a little
Yeah.
bit more fluid. But then we're back to the chordal part,
Yeah.
that bass line, harmonies. They're doing all the pop rules. It's like, all right, third time through. Actually, every time you do something, you got to add something new.
And now we get into the synthy bass, distorted bass solo kind of thing.
I wouldn't call this actually distorted.
You don't think so?
Well,
Or they're doubling it maybe.
it's doubling with so it's got like a clean on top and then like a muffly distorted
yeah.
underneath, because it doesn't really feel like distorted. It just feels more muffled than
Yeah,
distorted.
I can hear that.
Is this the reason you don't have bass solos?
Because everybody talks during them.
Like, it's so low and muffly, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's background
I'm
music.
glad they put the top part over it.
Yeah,
Because
The
especially like in my like when I listen to this like in my car, this part gets lost a little bit, especially until the higher keyboard part kicks
yeah. Can your speakers handle it?
in. Yeah,
Now, Christian,
but just like road noise and whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Christian listens to this while driving to work, so
Okay.
I'm wondering if he can hear the bass.
yeah,
But he
well,
probably
talking over it, but
Yeah. Besides that, we're talking over top
yeah.
of it.
And now
They call my rule a travesty.
I like that line too.
Yeah.
But I prefer your majesty.
I don't know if you were the harmony or not,
That was me. I was trying to sing the melody,
because it was like, that's cool. Oh, that's you.
and the chords moving along with the.
My dreams, Lord Farquaad, reign supreme, Fiona.
I like that everything's just not quite together.
Yeah. And then we're
And
back
now
to
we're just
normal.
back into the
I've been dancing the whole time.
yeah.
And
How
also,
can
we
you
haven't
not?
stopped.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I, with Turnstile, like I was moving with that.
Yeah.
I guess this is my tempo, where you can just gooseneck.
Yeah. And then it could end right here, but it keeps going a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you,
They're a little
I
self-indulgent
did
here
not
at the
listen to this.
The ending, you like stopped
at
it.
all.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it at all. because I think I was more focused on last week's stuff.
Okay.
I think they should have ended. This is kind of like getting like, what are you doing? Does it lead in? Because this is the first track, right?
It is. I don't remember.
I mean, it's not here, so it might just cut. But
You don't have it set up on the playlist?
No.
Okay.
It's just this.
No, people have to listen to find out then.
Yeah, we got a couple
I believe they're all very separate tracks. I don't think any of them. Yeah, it fades out here.
Didn't we talk about how like fading out is like not cool like a couple weeks ago? How like, oh, fade outs are for losers.
Yes. Sort of. Fade out when you just keep repeating the same thing and just fade it out.
I mean,
that's different to me.
Technically, it's a new section.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a cop-out fade out, though.
No.
I wish I could remember which track and where it goes because I would have you play it, but it would take us too long to find it. I believe it's on the second EP. One of the tracks, when it gets to the spot where the bridge should be, like one of the guys just comes in, he goes, "Oh man, sorry, this is so embarrassing, but this is where the bridge should go. We never wrote it and put it in, and then it went all the way to like mixing and mastering, and it didn't happen. So I guess we'll just go back to the hook, and then it kicks back into the hook or whatever." It's so ridiculous.
So it's similar to Will J. Do you remember that from a while ago?
Do.
I think that might have been like
10 episodes. Yeah.
Where he's like,
"That's right.
I don't feel like writing a bridge." And then they just go right back in.
But this is, I don't know if this is like what actually happened or if they were just
it's just like, no, let's just say we did it, but it didn't.
But it's funny and it's. Yeah.
But to do that, like that's another step. It's like you kind of have to like, oh, it went through mixing and mastering and like, but then you had to send it back and put this here.
Yeah.
And you just didn't feel like adding in that next part.
Because then you got to remix and master and everything else. And
I mean, if you're only mixing that one part, it's like it's not really. There might be like small fades and stuff like that, but unless they just didn't record it at all,
I'm not sure.
Then that's a different thing.
And like I said, I'm paraphrasing what exactly he says. Like if I had figured out,
is it on this one or is it on the second one?
I think it's on. That's the thing. I think it's on the second one.
Well,
but
I mean,
I'm
it's
not
only
even
6
sure.
songs, so.
Right? But like you'd have to know exactly where it is. It's like
just
it's only
listen
like
to
5
it.
seconds. I didn't have the time.
No, I'm not telling you to. I'm telling the listeners.
But I would have preferred to have played it so we could hear it. But that's all right. But Promise is probably Lord Farquaad, just because it's super danceable and like upbeat and fun and whatever, is cool. But Promise, which is on the next one, is a really beautiful love song. They're all great, and it's only 6 tracks. But yeah, Shrek is love, man. What a silly concept.
So like my not huge, but like my big thing with Shrek is like, so I was working at McDonald's when I think it was Shrek the Third came out.
Okay.
And it was a big deal, I guess.
All the toys and all the things.
All the toys, and they had special like.
Was that the one with the kids? The first time the kids showed up?
The third one was with the kids. I mean, I haven't seen. I know I've seen the first one. I don't know if I've seen the second or the third or the fourth or whatever. How many?
Definitely seen the second and third. I don't know about the fourth, but like the fact that I know that the kids were in the third one is all that I know.
I know that I haven't seen that one. I just know that they had kids because it was in the promotional stuff.
Sure.
But they had like a special McFlurry.
Oh.
Like it was like, and this is what we're going to do when we have this. And it's like, and you have a special spoon, and it's like, okay, cool. And I had to like put up a thing on a sign, on a pole. It's weird, but anyways, that's my Shrek story.
Nice,
working at McDonald's.
Great story.
It is. So where can people reach us and do stuff?
Facebook, Instagram at Two Tunes Podcast,
Instagram,
Discord.
What is Instagram?
What is Instagram?
Isn't it is it photo sharing?
It better stay that way, is what I have to say about it.
It's TikTok Junior.
I'm okay with Reels. I just don't want it to be all Reels.
Yeah. I posted a reel once,
I feel like going on Visco.
And it got 3,700 views.
Wow! Like
in minutes, and I'm like, oh my god! And then I just did another one because I was doing puzzles, and it got like 70. And I'm just like, okay, maybe it's timing or like what it looks
know how
like.
That stuff works, yeah.
But it's like I think like if you swipe up and like it just starts, guess what? That's a view.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't think that's real. Like no one's stopping and watching this. But somebody so I put my own with the second puzzle one, I put my own music, Echo and Echoes in the Well House.
Yeah.
I put that music in it, and then so I'm like thinking, well, I'll just put my own music in it, whatever. And And then somebody's like, oh, I can't believe, like, post, like, message. And I was like, oh, you know, like, I didn't think I'd watch a whole puzzle video, but here I am. I stuck around because of the music. And then the person was like, I really like this song, which was another song that I didn't post. And I'm like, and the person wasn't following me, or, I mean, he was following nobody. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, you are actually, like, you know, Echoes in the, like, you actually listen to Echoes in the Well House. That's really cool. Because nobody listens to my stuff. I don't get any views. Maybe on like YouTube I do, but like not on Spotify or that. Because I get updates and it's like, you have 0 views or 0 listens and 0 new followers. Nice. Just like whatever.
Oh, so it's like our podcast.
No, we it's going down though.
We have 6 listeners.
Man, they're so self-deprecating. Like, I listen to the podcast and they're so good. That was somebody, one of our viewers. I don't know who it was though.
Cool, good. Tell more people to listen.
But that person should maybe tell people.
Yeah.
And
all y'all, tell people, share,
like,
subscribe.
Definitely subscribe.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Promote.
Yeah, that too.
Tell your friends.
Rate. It's not the word I'm looking for, but you can review us.
Apple.
Anywhere you listen.
Most of the people, well, Spotify doesn't have a review thing, but Apple Music does, and most of the people listen through Apple Music. Yeah. Even though I give them a link to like anything that they want.
But put a 5-star review and say, these guys suck, but I'll give it 5 stars. That's fine. It's really the 5 stars that matters.
5 stars, worst review.
I will bring up the Weekly Planet now that you said it, but they read reviews every week, and sometimes people do that. They'll give 5 stars and be like, this is the worst podcast ever. 5 stars.
We've said that before. I've been
listening.
Don't
remember things, Bo. I'm old.
I'm back to June, so I guess I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 episodes behind. On
what?
On this, on ours.
On our podcast.
I've been listening to it. I just listened to the Will J one. I'm like, ooh, I have to listen to Will J. It's just on like a playlist of everything else.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm just like listening through, and everything's back to.
I think we're at a point now where we're far enough away
from the beginning
that it won't feel. Well, I won't start at the beginning. I'll start wherever I left off.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll feel far enough away.
Oh, okay.
That it doesn't feel
like it's
so
not
recent.
Like last because that's week's episode.
Right. No, I'm like more than 11 away for sure.
Okay.
But
well, even because last episode I listened to was Will J.
Okay. But what I'm saying is because I forget things and whatever, and it was months that we did this. I like to listen back and be like, oh yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
So
cool. Keep talking to us in the Discords. Links in the description. Cool. Join our Discord. We have people.
And thank you for listening. I know we want more listeners, but we appreciate all y'all.
The ones who stick around.
I listened to it before they were huge. Before they had 7 listeners.
We have more than that, but it's still low though. It's like 40. No, it's not 40. It's like 20. We have 20 weekly listeners.
Yeah. Speaking of selling out, do you think that people can sell out? Do you think that's a thing? This came up on another podcast I was listening to.
No. I mean, it depends, but you really have to be like, selling out is go against what you believe.
Yes.
But what if you change how you believe?
That can be too, yeah. So they were talking about it in context of like musicians, basically, bands and different things and whatever. And the one guy brought up a point which I really liked. It was like there's a difference between selling out
and buying in
and getting paid. Do you know what I mean? Like a band signs to a major label, gets paid, does the big tour. Like they're just getting paid, man.
Well,
like as long as they stay true to their sound and their thing or whatever. Not saying that people can't evolve and change, but like it's not you're one band on one album and then you get signed to a major label and now you're a different band. Like that's more selling out type of thing. But
if you change completely into something different and the reasoning is because the record label has told you,
or because you think it'll get more popular or whatever,
yeah.
But
that's one thing.
Difference between selling out and getting paid. I thought that was cool.
I want to talk about a cover. This is in relation to last week's episode, but I wanted to have a. So there's a Metallica covers record coming out.
Okay.
And it's got like 3 hours of music on it.
Yeah, I think I've seen things
and
about
instead of it just being like, oh, there's only one of this song, it's like 10 of this song and 10 of this song.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of covers of like 10 songs.
Okay.
Like 50 covers of 10 songs.
Wow.
And a lot of like there's one band that does one song and everybody else does every other song. But Weezer did a song.
Oh.
And I mean, the music sounds, it's like that Weezer cover record. Like the music, it sounds like the band that they're covering, and then it's Rivers singing over top of it. But there was a solo in it, and the solo was the Buddy Holly solo from Weezer. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's the Buddy Holly solo that you just did in this Metallica song. And then it's like just a do-do-do-do-do-do, and then it goes into more of like whatever it was.
That's awesome.
And it's just, I think it was one maybe or nothing. I don't know. I don't know what song it is, but it's got a ton of people. Like Miley Cyrus is on it, and Jason Isbell is on it, and Weezer, and just like a ton of people. So go check that out. That's a pretty cool, interesting covers album.
Have you
talking about last week?
Speaking of,
and it's not out yet.
Metallica. Have you seen the Larnell Lewis?
No.
Video. He has played drum. He's just a drummer, not just a drummer. He's a drummer, but he has played with Snarky Puppy and a bunch of other things.
Okay.
But he does this video where he's done a couple of them, but there's one where it's Enter Sandman, and he's like, I probably shouldn't admit this, but like I've never actually heard this song before. Never listened to it ever before. And he listens to it once. Yeah. He's sitting at the drum set.
Yeah. So he
listens to it. Yeah, he's trying to listen. He's trying to learn it on one listen. And he listens to it, and he kind of like maps out the form. And there's a couple times where he's like, "Oh, okay, there's that," whatever.
He's actually surprised.
And you're watching it in real time, like you're listening to it and watching him as he's listening to it.
So a reaction video, but
but he's learning it though. It's not just a reaction video. He's trying
playing
to
along
learn
with it.
Well, no. So the first time he just listens, and then he's like, "Should I do another listen?" And he's like, "No, I think I got it." And then he sits down and plays along with it after one listen, and he gets, I'm going to say 95% of it.
Okay.
There's a couple times like as he's going, he's like, "Oh, I missed that one," or whatever. Or it's like whatever. It's really cool. It's very cool. I would highly recommend
I do
it.
want to watch that. That sounds really interesting. Yeah. That reminds me of something, like it's stupid. So I was at Warped Tour, and
I miss Warped Tour.
Yeah, I miss Warped Tour too, but not as a in the crowd type thing or working it. I was just hanging out backstage. I'm famous if you don't know. No, I'm not at all. So I was there, and like there was some band, and then like there was a band behind, like just getting ready to set up, and this is like the second stage now. So it's the one that's at the if they play at an amphitheater, it's the amphitheater stage, which is usually like the second stage,
right?
So band's
which they
playing,
also usually split in half.
Yes. So band is playing, and then there's another band, just like their stuff is set ready to go for whenever they switch to that on that same stage, and the guy's playing along, like just like
air drumming.
No, he was playing along, but like nobody can hear. Yeah,
sure.
He was on his kit, but and then like they cut and he hit, and I'm just like, and he's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, you just fucked up, man.
That's amazing.
Everybody out there heard you, but not. There was another time. It was the same show, but it was like another band, and it was a band that like uses electric drums and electric keyboards and just has vocals. So like on the stage, and like you could hear some stuff, and they're like that. The crowd's getting hype, and then they're like ready for the drums to kick in, and then the guy hits the drums, and on stage you hear nothing because it's an electronic drum set, and it's just out through the speakers, and everybody else has in-ears, and I'm like, this is weird.
I thought you were gonna say like they didn't happen.
No, it did, but it didn't happen for anybody on stage. And I'm like, wow, this stage volume is really quiet, which could be a benefit to like people. Is like, play in ears, play electric drums, because you can hear what you're doing. But on stage, if like the singer doesn't want to hear your drums or the guitar player doesn't want to hear drums, but I forget what band it was, but it was it was just interesting to be like, on stage with electric drums doesn't really sound the same. As you have to be in the crowd to hear this because it's only coming out of the speakers. So that's our episode. I drug it on. Did we already talk about how they can reach us?
Yes, we did. Facebook, Instagram, Discord.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you.
Thanks, folks.
Next time.
Bye-bye.